What's going on, guys? Today I'm actually going to do a fight preview of the heavyweight championship fight this weekend of Vitali Klitschko and Shannon Briggs. Klitschko's have finally got another fight. To be fair to the Klitschko's, people always say that they are they don't fight the right opponents. Well, to be fair, I don't think anyone really wants to fight them. To be honest with you, I don't think anyone really is that interested in fighting them just because they're so good. They keep on picking up these opponents. Vitali Vladimir, I should say, has just disposed of Samuel Peters last month. Vitali's got Shannon Briggs, and Vladimir is going to be fighting apparently Derek Chisora on December the 11th, which is a new actual task for him because Derek Chisora has only fought 13, 14 fights before. So that'd be interesting. But on this fight, Vitali Klitschko against Shannon Briggs. Now, this could be an interesting fight because Shannon Briggs, he's part of the old school. Well, let's say old school. He's an older guy who fought around with some pretty good heavyweights. He's around the same time as Evander Holyfield still going, Lennox Lewis. He's seen it. He's been there and done it all. And a lot of people are complaining that personally, how could Shannon Briggs get a title shot? But I don't think he's ranked all that highly in any of the rankings. I think in the WBC is his highest ranking. I think he's, outside the top 10 still. So a lot of people have been questioning that. But on the other hand, you look at it and you think, well, who is this guy going to fight? Who is the Klitschko going to fight? So if you look into the fight, I believe that Shannon Briggs would want to get up close and personal to Vitali from the early rounds. I think Shannon Briggs, for a guy his age, he is incredibly toned. So you can't knock that he hasn't got, he's not coming in at the right weight because he looks good at the minute in the things I saw. I know there was some fireworks at a press conference just yesterday or the day before. And you've got a fighter who has still got the old school heavyweight mentality of getting into an opponent. And I think what Shannon Briggs will bring is maybe, even though he's from the older generation, he's actually bringing the American heavyweight sort of style, which I think is what the Americans really want at the end of the day. All the Americans want, they just want to see one of their fighters take a fight to the Klitschko's. I think Briggs will do that. I think in the early rounds, Briggs has to come in. He has to really look to be the aggressor, getting close. Use some of his experience and aggressive experience because that'll be important. And we know how tight a defence both Klitschko's have got, especially Vitali. I've always thought Vitali is better than Vladimir, personally. So when you look at this, early rounds, I think expect Shannon Briggs to really go in hard. The question is that Shannon Briggs hasn't really had many meaningful fights, if you ask me, of late. He's had two or three fights a year against some say journeyman, others opponents that you expect him to beat, to be honest with you. So I think that after 2 or 3 rounds, I believe Briggs will take the fight to Klitschko. I believe after that, Klitschko's defence we know is normally pretty good, and he'll just do what both Klitschko's do. And people complain about it, but it is still technically, if you can do it, and he can do it. Just with the whole jab, 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 tight defence all the way through. And I think that afterwards, Shannon Briggs will find it hard to get many meaningful punches on Klitschko, if you ask me. And after the 3rd or 4th round, I think you'll start seeing a tired Shannon Briggs start getting slowly but surely dissected by Klitschko's. It'll be the same sort of thing as we're normally used to. The only difference is that I often find that when fighters do go to Germany to fight the Klitschko's, they don't show up at all. They don't take the fight. Credit to Samuel Peters in the fight against Vladimir recently, where at least in the first round he was really getting into it. He was trying to throw. He looked everywhere his punches came from everywhere, and not exactly, you know, directly or in any real method. He was just throwing punches, and wasn't hitting anything, you know. So that's the thing that these old boys do bring against the Klitschkos, you know. If you ask me, I think this fight will be over in the middle rounds. I think between 6 to 8 round knockout of Shannon Briggs. I think Shannon Briggs might be stopped. I don't think he'll be knocked out. I think it might be stopped. I think, as I said, from round 3 to 4 onwards, I think from round 1 to 3 you'll see an even fight, and you'll see Shannon Briggs come with it. However, after that, I think, you know, he might get a bit tired. He might, you know, use up some of his energy, and I think the Klitschko will Vitali will sort of dominate there and get the jab going, and once the jab, you know, occasionally throw in a hook or something like that, you know, just to keep him at bay. And I think that's what the Klitschkos do really well, personally. So I'm going for a 6 to 8 round stoppage in favour of Vitali Klitschko in this fight. That's my opinion. I think that Shannon Briggs will bring something different. I actually think he will bring excitement, at least he'll bring experience into it. And I think that he'll give us a good effort, a good accountability of himself, but I don't think it'd be good enough to personally beat Vitali Klitschko or Vladimir in that sense. But that's what I'm going. It'll be an interesting fight. You know, I'm looking to stream it on via the web, because I don't think it's on. It's not on British TV. I don't know if it's on American TV or what, but I really doubt it, because I know that the Klitschkos have found it very difficult to get an American base or fan base over there. So it'd be interesting to see what this fight does. That's my personal opinion. Be interested to see if anyone's looking to this fight and what you guys think of Shannon Briggs and whether he deserves this shot. I don't think he deserves the shot necessarily. I think it's more because no one wants to fight Klitschkos, and they need to look for opponents, because they do like to fight. They do like to have 3 or 4 fights a year. So that's my take on it. Any thing you guys want to say, you know, if you think I'm wrong in any sense or form, or put your own predictions in the box, you know, that's fine, that's cool, go with it. Please subscribe to Boxing Clown 90, and until next time, peace. Boxing Clown 90 signing out.